Hello everyone, this is Eva from Dreamcode Studios. In the last video, I talked about what UTM tracking codes are and why they're important. If you haven't watched it yet, make sure to check it out. In this video, I want to show you how to create them, where you can find them in Google Analytics, and some of the recommendations for creating a UTM database for your business. Before we get started, if you are new to my channel, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. This way, when I release content like this, you will be notified. With that out of the way, let's get right to the point. Okay, by now we know the main job of UTM tracking code is really to help us understand where are the traffic coming from. Now let's figure out how to actually create them. So the most common tool out there is probably Campaign URL Builder made by Google. Simply go to Google, type in UTM Builder, and it will be the first option pop up. This tool is created by Google, and the advantage of this tool is that it is very easy and free to use. Let's go through an example together. Let's say for this example, I wanted to track how many of my website traffic is coming from people who clicked on my LinkedIn post. So first, for website URL, I could type in my company website, which is dreamcode.ca. Campaign source could be LinkedIn for this example. Campaign median. Since this is going to be an organic post, so it could be organic. Of course, if I decided to put some dollar to promote this post, then it could be under CPC or paid ad. Campaign name. I wanted to name UTM tracking code. As you can see, Google has already created a full URL with all the UTM tracking code. For most case, you only need to have UTM source, median, and campaign. Term and content are more commonly used for paid advertising, as you can see here. Campaign term is used to identify paid keyword, and the content is used to identify ads. So for this example, I don't really need them. Now I can just simply copy the URL and use it. Campaign URL Builder is a great tool to start with. However, as your business grows, as you have more people working on your team, you are running more campaign on different channels, I highly recommend you to create a UTM Builder template for your business. There are a few reasons why you wanted to create a UTM template for your business. First, Google Analytics is case sensitive. There are multiple ways you can write LinkedIn, for instance, or lowercase, or uppercase. To us, they mean the same thing. Lowercase LinkedIn, uppercase LinkedIn. But for Google Analytics, they're different. They will treat LinkedIn lowercase or LinkedIn uppercase as two separate sources. Secondly, you want to make sure that the way you name your source, median, and the campaign name are consistent. For you, you might understand the difference between UTM tracking code or UTM tracking being the same campaign. But again, for Google Analytics, it means completely two different campaigns. That's why it is very important to have a consistent way of naming all your source, median, campaign, term, and content. Here is a UTM Builder template that I have created. I will include the link in the description below if you're interested in downloading it and use it for your business. Let's walk through the same example, and you will see why it is better to use a template rather than Campaign URL Builder. First, let's type in the URL. For source, same example, I will choose LinkedIn. Median is organic, and campaign is UTM tracking code. As you can see, the full URL has already been created as I'm typing all those information. And because I have already write down all the source and the median on a different sheet, all this information is already pre-created. So the chance of me making a mistake is a lot less. I just have to choose the appropriate median and the source and the campaign name, and I can create this URL. If you cannot find a source in this drop-down menu, you can simply go to source median sheet and add that channel here. Maybe you also run advertisement on TV. Then for source, you can write TV. And the median, maybe you have a referral channel. Then you can just add this median here. Then go back to the UTM builder sheet. And this option has been added. Same for campaign. As you have more campaign running throughout the year, just add the name here. You can even include the start date, end date, and some detailed information that you want to include for this particular campaign. You can also write down who created this URL if you have multiple people on your team and some notes you want to add it for this URL. Now can you see why it is better to use UTM Builder template rather than go to Campaign URL Builder and build an individual URL for your campaign every single time? This way is more consistent in terms of how you name your UTM value, your source, median, campaign, and it's a lot easier to collaborate with your teammate. Now we have gone through the whole process of creating UTM tracking code. What's next? How can you actually get those information in Google Analytics so you can use those data to help you make decisions? Let's dive right into this topic. So first, you want to go to your Google Analytics, choose acquisition or traffic, and source median. From here, you will be able to see which source and the median actually bring the most traffic, the most user, and some additional information like bounce rate, page session, and the conversion rate if you have it set up. Under this column, you can see the information for your UTM source and the median. If you wanted to see the performance of your campaign that you have tagged with UTM tracking code, you can go to second dimension, type in campaign. You can also scroll down, go to campaign, and click all campaign. This dashboard shows you all the information about your campaign performance. If you want to see additional information for your UTM content and the keyword, this too a little bit hidden. Again, you go to secondary dimension, type in keyword. So keyword under advertising is corresponding to UTM terms. And the content under advertising is corresponding to UTM content. As you build the habit of creating UTM tracking code for each of your campaign, and as you collect more data, you will be able to see, okay, which channel, campaign, or content perform better than others, which area deserve more of your attention or ad budget, and which area you might want to drop potentially. Now we have gone through the process of creating UTM tracking code, where we can find the data in Google Analytics. Now let's talk about some of the good practice for creating UTM database for your company. First, keep it consistent with the way you name your UTM value. If you have decided to write LinkedIn in all lowercase and you prefer to use CPC to represent the paid channel rather than PPC, that's fine. Just choose one and stick with it. As I said before, Google Analytics is case sensitive and it cannot differentiate the difference between CPC, PPC, paid ads. For us, they're the same median. For Google Analytics, they're different. My second recommendation for creating UTM code is to keep it simple. Make sure that when you or your teammate analyze the data in Google Analytics, they know what it means. If it's a Facebook, write a Facebook or FB. If it's organic, write organic. If it's a paid, write a paid ad or CPC. Don't use complicated code or special character like ABXY underscore exclamation point. If you really wanted to use special code for your campaign name because you don't want your competitor to figure out what your company is promoting at that time, I would suggest you to create an extra column called the campaign code and using simple coding system like number 001, 002, 003, like invoice number for each of your campaign. This way, your competitor wouldn't be able to figure out what campaign you are running by looking at the UTM tracking code. But at the same time, it is still easy for you or your team to figure out what campaign you are running internally and analyzing those data in Google Analytics. That's it. I hope you found this video helpful and can start using UTM codes to track marketing campaign performance for your business. I hope to see you next time. Have a great day.